Hello, my friend. Let's talk about what many of us experience in 40s, 50s, 60s, sometimes even 70s, and that is starting over. So maybe you've lived your life one way or according to how you were taught growing up. Might be a 9 to 5 job, it might be a certain career, but you have lived your life according to the conditioning you grew up with, the beliefs, the thoughts, the behaviors, the kinds of people, maybe not the same people, but more or less the same kinds of people. And now there's a part of you that maybe recently, maybe your whole life has wanted to do something different. Maybe you've had a dream of starting your own business, a dream of following your creativity and the magic within yourself and starting a business doing that. So let's say you're at the age where you still need to work, you need to make money, but you want to follow your heart and soul with that instead of that, structured way of being what you were taught. So you want to start over. And you may be staying in the same job and doing something on the side, but then you find as you come home after working a full-time job, you want to follow your passion, but you're exhausted, or there's a million other things to do. Part of it is the job, if that's what you're going through, and coming home feeling exhausted, but it's also because you are shifting your vibration, your frequency, your consciousness from a job mentality to, say, starting your own business, doing your own thing, following your dream. So you literally have to shift into a different way of seeing things, a higher consciousness. So you feel like you just don't have time. Like, how do I build my dream when I don't even have time to follow my passion? That happens to many people. I went through that several times on the journey of starting, like doing this full time, doing energy work and healing and coaching and such full time. And the other is you might have, really tapped into the courage within yourself and made a plan and said, you know what, I've got enough money to support me for a while, saved up your money and said, I'm going to quit my business or quit my job. Sorry. I'm going to quit my job and start my business and launch your business. And you've got great ideas and you're excited, but maybe you don't quite have the follow through. Or maybe the money's run out or is about to run out. And you're going, I quit my job and the career I had, and it was following my heart and my passion. Why is it so hard? This was supposed to happen. This is my passion. I'm following my heart. Everything I've read, everything I've heard, all the teachers and speakers say, if you follow your heart, the money will follow. It does, but there's also a learning curve there. And that's one of the benefits of keeping your job and building your business, because you're walking through that learning curve. It also can be very exhausting because there is a lot to learn. And part of it might even be believing you're worthy and deserving of that. Okay, there's a part of you, it's almost like you're yelling at us, me and my guide, saying, but it was supposed to be easier. So there's all the ways there's a part of you that is angry that following your dream and your passion isn't easier. And part of you feels that you've been fed a lie. Let's honor and acknowledge that. And just let that go. Send it to the light as you're ready. If you've been told that it's easy to launch your business, if you've been told that it's easy to make the transition from a job mentality to an entrepreneur business mentality, Let's acknowledge that. And maybe you have watched any get rich quick infomercials or anything like that. And you believed in that. But was that then really your passion? Or were you trying to build that business because somebody said it was easy? There you go, your whole self relax. Okay, there's a part of you saying, well, I must be doing it wrong then. You know how many companies implode because they take off very, very quickly, but they don't have the infrastructure to support themselves. They don't have, if it's an individual person, that individual person doesn't have, maybe they don't know how to set boundaries. Maybe they don't know how to do all the different things that an entrepreneur, a business owner needs to be able to do. Until you're big enough, you can hire somebody. There's a learning curve. It's just that when you start a job, no matter how qualified you are for it, there's a learning curve. There's even just getting along with your boss, your employer, other colleagues. There's always a learning curve. So all the ways you are angry at the universe because it hasn't happened on your timeline, whatever you want, following your passion, starting a business, creating something in your life, it hasn't happened on your timeline. There's a couple things coming up here. You're angry at the universe, so let's acknowledge that. And you're also disappointed in yourself. So all the ways you are disappointed in yourself, or you keep almost hammering yourself, saying, I must be doing something wrong, or I wonder what I'm doing wrong. Let's just let that all go. Let that go. See, because you've heard, or you've understood, or it's been implied somewhere that if you follow your passion, you follow your heart, the money will follow, or some version of that. And you expected, once you stepped into following your passion and your heart, and what you've maybe always wanted to do your whole life, that it would be, there's a part of you believing that it would be easy. But I should say, stepping into your passion also comes with, it's like the universe is saying, how much do you want that? How much do you want that? We're going to give you some tests along the way to make sure that this is really your heart's desire and you're passionate about it. And I can feel your frustration coming up. And what you're saying is, but I don't want tests. I don't want to learn this. I just want this to happen now. But that's your timeline. And you are on a 3D timeline. You're on a very linear timeline. As humans, we have time. It's a linear timeline. So we expect things to happen within a certain time. But the universe is saying, oh, it's going to happen. Your desires, your heart's passion, it's going to happen. But enjoy the journey a little bit. There are actions you need to take. There are people you need to meet. There are circumstances that need to happen. There are experiences you need to have before it can really come to fruition. And yet, because you're on the 3D linear timeline, you're saying, I want it to happen now, and you're getting frustrated. But what if you trusted that the universe has a plan for you? The universe knows that this is truly your passion. See, often we'll think something is our passion, but when you really get into the why of it, it's because, well, other people will approve of me. I'll be appreciated. People will see what I can do, I've accomplished, and they will validate me. I will feel validated. That's externally. And when you need something externally outside of you, it's actually weakening. It's like somebody else's passion for you, somebody else, what you believe somebody else wants for you that will make you feel good, it gets all your energy and the power within gets diluted because it gets connected to others. But when you know your why and it comes from within you, it comes from your heart, then nothing will take you off course. You might, if it's a long journey, I go share a bit of a personal story here. So I first wrote out my vision. I want to be a coach. At that time, I wasn't even familiar with energy work. I want to be a coach. And it was June 1996. And I thought it was just going to happen. I made the decision. I want to be a coach. First time I'd ever heard of a vision. And write it out so that your vision will eventually come true and you'll be living that. I'm like, okay, I'll do this. I was new to the whole path, everything about it. And so I wrote it out. I wanted to be a coach. I didn't realize it was going to be another 19 years later before I started doing my coaching and healing business full time. Because the universe said, you have a whole lot to learn about yourself, about people, about life, about experiences, and you need to become way stronger within yourself and start believing in yourself. But my why was because I wanted to make a difference. My whole purpose in life, and I knew that with my heart and soul, every being of myself, I wanted to make a difference. So during those 19 years, I got off track several times. In fact, I lost my passion. I completely gave up the idea of ever doing this. But I kept coming back to what was within me. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to awaken the gifts within me so that I could inspire others. So, what is your why within you? When you have, let's say you've quit your job and you really, really want to start your business, or you're working a full-time business and you have a passion. It's that why within you that is going to keep you going forward. It's that why within you when you forget, when life takes over, when you get busy, when you run out of money, when you get exhausted, that you will come back to. But if it's because then I will be approved of, I will be accepted, other people will validate me, it won't, you will lose that passion because it's not about, it doesn't come from within you. It's what you believe will get you external, some kind of external validation. So it will happen if the why is within you and it comes from your heart and soul. Because you might have had this dream for months, years, even decades, and you're wondering, is this the right dream? Well, you will know if that passion is within you or if it's because I want others to approve of me or I want external validation, which ultimately weakens you because it's not coming from within you. You need somebody else to behave a certain way or say a certain thing so that you can feel good about yourself. That's why it weakens you. There you go. So if you're wondering, am I on the right path or have I done something wrong? No, you're growing, you're learning, you're becoming more self-aware, you're discovering who you are. These are all learning, growth, enhancing experiences. But ask yourself, why do I really want to follow this path? Why is this my passion? Because I think other people will approve of me or validate me? Well, then it's not really a passion. You're doing it for somebody else. I want to follow this path and jump the hurdles and go through the ups and downs. And I'm still staying focused on this path and this passion of mine because, and then you answer that, something within you is driving you forward. And you will feel that in your heart. This is why. This is why I keep coming back to this. There you go, your whole self relaxed. But when you want it to happen on your timeline, that's when you get frustrated. And that's when you stop, you slow down everything. It's when you put up blocks, frustration. It's a very tangled up energy and it will slow down your manifestation. There you go. So you're not doing anything wrong. Let go of that. Let go of, I must be doing something wrong. Let go of comparing yourself to others. Even if others said, or you heard the story anyways, that I decide to do this and it happened within months or years, that's their experience. That's their skills, gifts, and talents. It's not about you, it's about them. That happened that quickly for them. It doesn't mean it's going to happen that quickly for you. It might happen more quickly, but it might take more time. There you go, your whole self relax. See, the mentality of the job mentality is very different than the entrepreneurial or self-employed business mentality. The job mentality is somebody else tells you your value. They say, you do this for me. So they give you the parameters of what you can do. There's a structure right away. And you do this, we will pay you this much. This is a value you bring to us. There's a sense of belonging. So you show up every day for work, whether in office or at home, or you know what to do. You have that sense of belonging. You have a steady paycheck that you can count on. You know how much money you're going to make. You're limited, but it gives you that sense of safety because you know just how much money you're going to be making, how you can live and such. So it gives you, again, a sense of safety and structure. Where if it's running your own business or you want to start a creative venture, whatever it is, you want to do something outside, you know, the parameter of a job for somebody else to create money in your life. And that means part of the reason, if your passion hasn't come to fruition yet, then it might be because you don't value yourself. See, if you have a business or something you want to offer to others, you have to value yourself, believe in your worth. Because whatever you're selling, if it's some kind of gadget or it's something that's like coaching or healing, it comes from you. And when you value yourself and you recognize and acknowledge a worth within yourself, you are sharing that energy with whatever you are offering to others. But if you don't value yourself, then whatever you're offering to others also won't be valued or won't be valued very highly. So you also need, as far as financially, you need to see if you're not believing in yourself, then the money isn't going to flow either. So then you start worrying about money. There you go, your whole self relaxed. So you need to be able to either have the money in the bank or have the consciousness to support yourself or the experience of living on very little so that you can support yourself until money starts to flow in a more continuum, bigger way. Because if you, once money starts, let's say you have a number of some savings and you quit your job to start a business and the money starts to, starts to dwindle and you go into fear, then you're blocking everything. So you need to be able to trust yourself. And if you're not trusting yourself and you don't recognize your value and your worth, then you're blocking your success. You're blocking your manifestation. You're blocking your business from growing. And that's why it doesn't happen on your timeline, because there's things you need to learn, believe in yourself, grow, expand, ground into your strength, your deservingness, your worthiness, but release any worry. Let's release the worry. There you go, your whole self relaxed. So any part of you, let's just bring this together by releasing any part of you that is caught up in comparing yourself to others. Let's just let that go. Just let it go. Any part of you is saying this should have happened by now. And then you cause a pressure and a heaviness on yourself. Let's just let that go. Send that to the light. There you go. There, your whole self relaxed. And again, if you're not sure if you're on the right path for you, go to your why. And what is your why for continuing to follow your passion? And that will let you know if it's really your passion or what you believe you should be or how you should behave. There you go. Take a deep breath in. Let that go. There you go, my friend. Namaste.